So there's a lot of reasons that make Ivey Homes different from most of your builders out there. IveyWise is a program that we started to kind of differentiate ourselves from other builders. And one of the things that we do that a lot of builders don't do is advanced framing. And so advanced framing includes a lot of different things, some of which we can see standing here. If you look up here, you'll see these roof trusses have what's called a raised heel. And that allows us to get the attic insulation all the way out over the top of the wall. A lot of cases you don't see that raised heel, so you don't have as much insulation over the top of the wall. That's a very important feature. Also, you'll see in these corners, the corners are framed to allow insulation to get all the way back to the corner. That's another advanced framing technique. The R value of wood is about an R1 per inch, whereas the insulation we use is an R15. So if I can get insulation there versus wood, then I get a much more efficient home. And so we frame with a California corner. Another thing that we do is in all of our chases, because we want to get this cavity sealed, is we're putting an air barrier in here as well. That's part of our advanced framing. You'll also notice here that we've got what looks like a ladder built here. So these are called a ladder tee, and this allows this wall to be connected to this wall instead of having a solid block of wood behind it. Now guess what? I can get insulation behind there, behind these ladder blocks coming up. That's another thing that we do. Also, you'll notice that when you look up in the roof system, we use engineered roof trusses. Now, engineered roof trusses, in my opinion, are way better than a stick-built roof because this has been engineered, it's been signed off by a professional engineer, it's been rated for wind loads. You'll notice that it's all connected with, you'll see metal connectors throughout here. You'll also see these hurricane clips. The hurricane clips are there to prevent uplift. So in a storm, you have to worry about uplift of the roof system as well. So we've got that connected to the wall to prevent uplift. And while you're looking in the attic, you'll also notice that we use a radiant barrier for our roof decking. And that helps tremendously with the heat in the attic. You know, in the southeast, it gets hot, and these attics get extremely hot. And because of that, we've got all our ductwork up there. So let's figure out how we can get some of that heat to come down, and so we use a radiant barrier, and that'll lower the attic temperature by about 30 degrees. Now we're going downstairs, and as you can see in this house, we have the safety railing that's in place, and we keep these in place from the time the framing is done through drywall into interior trim, and the trim carpenter will replace this with the finished handrail. And you can see in this two-story foyer some of the framing techniques that we've talked about. You know, this is a ladder tee, something that we do to connect two walls together, so it's a little easier to see on an interior wall than it was on an exterior wall. You'll also notice as we come into the great room, the engineered floor system that we use in this house is a TGI floor system. And these are pre-engineered specifically for this house. They're shipped to the job site, and then our framer puts them in place. You'll also notice we use LVL beams to help carry that load. That is also engineered by the supplier. So it's not us deciding what we want to put out here. An engineer has actually told us how to build this house from a floor system standpoint, and that's what we install. You'll also notice that a couple of things down here I want to point out from an insulation standpoint. You'll see around this door we have foamed around this door with a low expansion foam, and that's part of our air sealing technique as well.